Previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Hello my beautiful watchers, it's been a while since we've gotten to interact and I kinda missed it, so I thought we'd try another new thing. Peace and love. If you've created something you're proud of and for some reason find the idea of it being judged by an arrogant adaptation critic appealing, then it's your lucky day. My next The Don Reviews episode will be giving feedback on stuff submitted to me by you guys.
I don't even like donuts.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on the new Power Rangers movie. I am quite curious to know what everyone else thought as well, so please do let me know.
Film Review Power Rangers.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dutch Holland and this is a review. Today we are discussing the Power Rangers movie. Let's begin. This review has been split into 6 parts.
6 chapters.
Divided over 3 videos.
Chapter 1 Movie. Chapter 2 Cast. Chapter 3 Background. Chapter 4 Story. Chapter 5 The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. And Chapter 6 Recommendation. Chapter 1 Movie.
This movie is a reimagining or reboot of the first season of the Power Rangers franchise. Power Rangers is a show about teenagers with attitude who can morph into Rangers. Then a monster appears, then the Rangers transform, beat the monster up, then the monster explodes, it grows till the size of an apartment complex, the Rangers get into their giant robots which they pilot, the monster gets beat up again, then the monster blows up, and then the fight is over, and the lesson is learned at the end of each episode. It's kind of a weird show. Power Rangers has a very weird origin, so we'll get back to that later. But for now...
Chapter 2 Cast.
Mispronunciations may occur.
Dacre Montgomery as Jason Scott, the Red Ranger, Naomi Scott as Kimberly Hart, the Pink Ranger, RJ Seiler as Billy Creston, the Blue Ranger, Becky G as Trini, the Yellow Ranger, Ludi Lin as Zack, the Black Ranger, Bill Hader as the voice of Alpha 5, Brian Creston as the voice and head of Zordon, and Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa. Chapter 3 Background.
Power Rangers has a very weird origin, and I'm going to tell you this now, but some of you might not be interested in this. If you're not interested in the background information of how Power Rangers came to be, then I suggest you skip to the time code at the bottom of the screen. For those of you that stayed and wish to know, I'm going to tell you about the very weird origin Power Rangers has.
Power Rangers has a reasonably unique origin. And just a heads up, it's gonna get weird. Superman introduces a completely new genre in comic books, the superhero genre. The concept of superheroes became popular and spread far and wide. In Japan, this would eventually lead to the creation of Super Sentai.
That's Sentai, not Hentai. Don't Google that.
Ew. These were heroes dressed in spandex who would fight for good. Stan Lee, god of Marvel Comics, saw one such Sentai show and thought that it would be a good way to bring some of their superheroes to life. This led to a Japanese Spider-Man show,
Which was weird!
In this show, Spider-Man was different from the comics. He drove on a motorcycle, his powers were alien, and he had a giant robot, among other things. This was the result of the collaboration between Stan Lee and Toei. Some of the concepts they came up with together stayed popular, namely the giant robot. Toei was inspired by the concept of a giant robot and decided to use it more often, specifically in the Sentai shows, which gave Stan Lee another interesting idea. His idea involved taking pieces of a Sentai show, putting them together with footage of American actors, and thus creating a completely new show for an American audience. Sadly, Stan couldn't realize this, and eventually Marvel and Toei's partnership ended. However, some ideas are just so good or so weirdly bizarre that they just start a life of their own. The idea kept floating around Hollywood with multiple people trying and failing to do it, before it eventually ended up getting made into a pilot a decade later. The pilot was way too violent for kids, with way too scary bullies and really old Sentai footage. But Sentai shows were still popular and still being produced, even up until present day.
At the time of this video's recording,
So they could use more recent footage. They reworked the show to be more comedic and kid-friendly. This led to the show Mighty Morphin
Power Rangers!
But the story does not end there. Power Rangers kept the same cast for the first 3 to 4 seasons and the first 2 movies, before passing on the torch. And eventually, starting with every new season, there would be a new cast and a new title. Power Rangers Time Force, Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, Power Rangers Ninja Storm, Power Rangers Mystic Force, Power Rangers Dino Thunder, Power Rangers Wild Force, and many, many more. Power Rangers has a unique and troubled history. With many moments it came close to cancellation, but despite everything, it's still going strong and still popular up until present day. At the time of this video's recording, of course. I cannot see the future. Yet. The movie we are discussing today is not a Sentai turned into an American product. It's a completely new product. It's a reimagining or reboot or whatever you want to call it of the original first season Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. All what came before, all the seasons, belongs together, but this movie is its own unique thing. So, to summarize it all, superhero comics inspired Japanese kids shows, which led to a Japanese Spider-Man, whose influence ended up changing Japanese kid shows, which led to an American version of the kid show, which ended up resulting in a rebooted movie that is not intended for kids. Which isn't a reboot, but a reimagining, because both products still exist, but are unconnected. Which is about a bunch of teenagers who can transform into spandex and motorcycle helmets, with foam rubber weapons who can also transform, with robots that can transform, while fighting monsters that can transform, which is made into a movie for teens and adults.
no wonder people complain about nothing being original anymore. And now that we've discussed the weird origin Power Rangers has, we can talk about Power Rangers from Saban from 2017.